This
Joining
conference
myself
will now
Abdul.
be recorded.
So myself Abdul, I am holding like 13 years of industry experience, out of which 8 plus years of experience with the Splunk. So hope you already aware, right? Most of them, like as you have been joining here, so what is the need of, like, before starting Splunk, right? We should understand the need of Splunk, and like we need to understand the observability. So Splunk is a part of observability tool, right? Nowadays, like the main users of Splunk, right? Most of the organizations, we have DevOps teams, and site reliability engineering teams and security teams. We have multiple teams who actively use this Splunk, and you know, now we have multiple observability tools like Datadog, New Relic, but the Splunk was ruling the market earlier and now also. So wherever you can see, right? For example, why we need this observability, right? So if you say, if you take any organization, like let's say software industry itself, right? Like any product, or else any retail company, if I am opening any retail company as a business, so right, what actually we need to this to understand more on the revenue part, and like uh, what I can say, right? Let me share my screen. Like I will explain with a good example. So if I'm opening an organization, and I have everything, right? Everything ready, and I am business is investing something, and what they are expecting at the end. So can anyone tell? If we are opening a firm, right? Like if I am opening a business, for example, if I am opening a e-commerce application, I'm a
Revenue.
business owner. So what I can expect out of which?
Storing the data
Security.
and
Exactly, first one is security, and others? Only
Data storage.
security?
Reliability.
Perfect. Data storage also one of the key thing nowadays. And what else?
Reliability.
Perfect. Reliability. How we can say the reliable of my system is reliable? Like my product is reliable. Like I am delivering the one product into the market. Let's say I'm opening the e-commerce site, and people are purchasing some products. So how can I say my system is reliable? My like website, like whatever the e-commerce store, right? That is reliable. Can anyone give an example? So this is most
Firewall.
kind of interactive
Antivirus.
session. It's not a question to answer way. It's we'll go by interactive way, so that we can learn, because nowadays job market, right? The understanding is different, perception is different. We should understand what actual things are going on market. So yeah, I'm just asking about this the e-commerce store or else e-commerce application. So how, when I can say my site is reliable, on what basis? So can I give one example? So for example, right, if you learn, right, some formulas a plus b is equal to c. So when we pass a plus b is equal to c, 2 plus 3 is equal to 5. One member, if we pass, if we are getting the correct results, right, the system is like working fine. but at a time, like hundred thousands of people are using same formula. At the same time, it should return the same value. At the same time, right? A similar way, like I am opening a website and you are purchasing the product, and whatever the product we are expecting, right? The color and like a size, and whatever you are like adding the product, you should get same product. So our system should reliable, then we can say, right? Yeah, like even though 10,000 requests if we put, then we should see the same result. So that is the reliability of our system. And like how Splunk will be helpful here? Can anyone say? Splunk or else whatever the observability tool, right? So how we can say our observability tool will help to make our system reliable? Anyone can say any answer. It's not a kind of you need to give correct answer.
Loading the
I won't
threads,
give any marks for this, for sure. Yeah.
logs and threads,
Uh-huh.
upcoming logs and threads.
Exactly, logs and threads. So like you know, right? In US market, even our market also, there are some of the occasions and promotions where my site, right? My website is capable enough for 100 users. Okay, it's a very small site, and my only 100 users can access my site at a time. So my system, like for 100 user, it is very good. But when due to some promotions, due to some occasion, like this traffic if increase more, right? like I need to scale up this traffic. So what basis I can scale up? There should be some observability tool. I can understand my system, like how much it is reliable, and how much it is scalable, and how much it is available. So like if right, in a holiday season in US, so we can expect the traffic for 1 minute 1000, 10 minutes 10,000 requests. So during that time, this entire system should be capable enough to monitoring that much of big traffic. So where we can see all these things. So this is where these observabilities are come into picture. So you know what actually observability is? It's a basic question on any interview. Or else anyone can tell what is monitoring? So do you know, right? If I am doing this type of issues, if I am monitoring, what I will monitor, like metrics. So I'll create some dashboards in any of the observability tool. I can monitor the traffic. Oh my god, like this much of requests are coming, whether my system is capable enough or not. So we will create some alerts, and we will create some notifications, and we will monitor the traffic on this. And whenever any issue occurs, right, we will take immediate action as per our monitoring. Monitoring is nothing but just it's a reactive monitoring. We will monitor any issue occurs, like we will take some action. But observability is a key thing. Like wherever you go, right, it is totally different. And what observability, right? Whenever you say metrics, one second. Whenever you say metrics, logs, and traces. So whenever you combined these three things, like you can say this is an observability. Like how my system, like if I am putting a good observability on my system, right, then I can do whatever I can. So to apply this observability, these observability tools come into picture. Like what observability tools we have? Like Splunk we have, Datadog we have, New Relic we have. So all these things are observability tools. So what we will monitor by using observability? Observability is nothing but metrics, logs, and traces. Metrics, what comes under the metrics? Can anyone tell what under comes under the metrics? What metrics we need to validate for any of the site? This is basic question. Even I am taking multiple interviews. When I ask about observability, right, people will tell about monitoring. They don't know about the observability. So this is the key thing to understand what observability is. Like most of the interviews will end up by not answering this clear understanding of the observability, because we are using the observability tool. Like Splunk is an observability tool only, right? If I am correct, or else any other tool. It is a obviously monitoring tool. At the same time, it is an observability tool as well, right? So I will tell. So this is metrics. Metrics, what it will come? Metrics is CPU utilization, memory utilization, and like errors. So whenever we put these metrics, whenever we monitor these metrics, when we see some spike, like if CPU utilization is more, immediately what we will validate, like how we will validate which thread or which activity is taking more, by using logs. Anyone aware of what actually logs are? Like anyone validate where we can validate these logs? Team?
The activity which is recorded in the text format.
Exactly. The activity which is recorded in the text format. Perfect. So whenever one activity, it is very easily we can identify, right? So then hundreds of activities are going on. So then how we can identify what's going on? The logs which I am saying, right, that will make a good role. So whenever any issue is going on, right, we can validate the activity which comes in the text format, right? If you see, like any issue occurs, let's say any retail site or else any banking site also, observability is a key. Now whatever it may be, it's a banking, whatever the software product you are using, right, there these observabilities plays key role. So why observability will play a key role? Like if any, even like in my experience, I used to support
Sorry,
this holiday season.
sorry, we can just see but
Yeah,
your WhatsApp chat. We cannot see your display
yeah,
as well.
I just go to that paint. Yeah, this one. Okay. Are you able to see my this paint now?
Yes, thank you. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So that I will. I don't know. Yeah, I removed from there. So okay, 1 second. Yeah, here. So any organization, right, any company, if I am like even like as per my previous experience, we used to support holiday season. Holiday season is the thing, but there will be huge traffic where we used to monitor our application, and these logs, like whenever customer right, customer like they used to report an issue. So if suppose they report some issue, like hey, I'm unable to like add the product. So what we need to do as a observability, immediately we'll open our Splunk and we will validate what actually going on that for that application. So if anything goes wrong, right, we can validate, as earlier someone mentioned, right, the text format, like we could see lot many errors. Then we can identify what causing that issue. If it is due to out of memory errors, or if it is due to CPU utilization errors, or whatever it may be. And these logs will give those details. And I said, right, traces. So what actually traces? Can anyone tell what actually traces is? We just identify metrics and we validate the logs. So what traces, like when traces will come into picture? Anyone knows about traces? Anyone heard about that word, traces?
Trace, can you rephrase your question, please?
Traces, right? As I said, as I mentioned about observability, right? Observability is the combination of metrics, logs, and traces. Metrics we have identified like CPU utilization, memory utilization, errors, and by seeing those metrics, we immediately validate the logs, and we identified some pattern. And next, this traces will occur. Like what actually traces?
Um,
Okay, I
I
will
mean,
explain the traces, right?
we
Like
can use
if you
like
see,
root cause
yeah,
analysis, to dig deep down into maybe the logs.
perfect, exactly correct. I will give good example. Like so, like I will give this example, right? There is a customer, uh, like there is a customer who is purchasing some product in a site. Okay, my website, what we will this website will depend on, right? It will depend on multiple external systems. Like there is a payment gateway, it is a different system. Okay, and there is a some offers, so that is the different system. And everything, like some multiple system will be available, and my system, like my application, will interact with all the third parties. So some customers have are reporting some issue, like they were unable to add the product. What I need to do, right? I need to connect all these dots, like from where this request is coming and where this request is going, internal system as mentioned earlier, right? So we need to connect all these dots, and we need to identify like where actually this time is taking. If three systems are involving, right, the traces will like this, to calling how much time this service is taking and how much time this service is taking. So for example, to get product, right, my product, whenever I click on add to bag, it will check the address, like the product catalog information and the product details information. There are multiple service, it will internally call, and I came to know, right, one of the service is taking huge response time. So this observability I can identify using traces. So those traces, these observability tools will help for us. So that is the major thing actually we will come across on this observability part. So now come to this training, right? So I have, as I mentioned, right, most of the training, it will be more interactive way, not in a question to answer way. And I will give the real time examples, like even based on my previous experience, and as per in a job market also. So do you know what type of jobs we will get if we learn the Splunk? Or else anyone applied the jobs for Splunk in this group?
Splunk admin, vulnerability management engineer,
Mhm. Anyone
cybersecurity
having experience
analyst.
with site reliability engineering experience in this group, or else production support? Okay, so I will give, right, this Splunk will be helpful for application support and site reliability engineering and DevOps, and even like developers also, like after putting production, right, after the changes went to production, and if you want to see the changes in the production, right, this will help. Like I just to validate what type of jobs we have, and if you see in the market, right? So Splunk development, there are so many jobs in the market based on the Splunk. Splunk is ruling the market now, and this is the right time we need to learn this Splunk. Like if you see, just I search with Splunk, I could see so many jobs here, and we need to identify, like Splunk is not running the queries and creating light dashboards. No, we need to dig deeper into this. So I just identified some of the testimonials, how this Splunk helpful. See, if you see, right, travel towards lands exceptional customer experience with full stack observability. I just mentioned, right, what observability is. I think you people get some idea on what observability, how we will validate. So like these many countries, as I mentioned, right, how our system is reliable. If the system should respond same result for one customer, system should respond same result if the traffic is more. If you go through this one, right, you can understand where this anyone know mttd. MTTD, mean time to detect. So mean time to detect, when it will come mean time to detect. So as I said, right, whenever any issue occurs on site and like customer facing an issue, like you are like working on an environment where it is a retail site and you are the front facing to the customer and the customer facing an issue, business don't know about what actually going on. They're just reaching out to the engineer who is monitoring the application. So what we need to do, like mean time to detect, this Splunk will help us to identify what actually going on onto the site. How this Splunk will help what actually going on to the site? By using dashboards. Dashboard will help us for proactive monitoring. So like what is the good practice, right? The issue reported by customer, or else we need to identify the issue before customer reports. Which one is good one? Can anyone tell? It's
Proactive.
a straightforward question. Yeah. So
Identify the
which
Proactive.
which one, which one is good? First one, customer is reporting, hey, like I am seeing this issue in your site. What happened? What's going on? That is the one correct. Or else, as an engineer, based on my monitoring, I am the reporting issue. This is going to happen now, and we need to take some action. Which one is good?
the
Second one.
second.
Second one, perfect. Second one called which monitoring that is? Do you know anything about proactive monitoring and reactive monitoring?
Yes.
Exactly. So first one is called reactive or proactive?
Reactive.
Very good. That is the reactive. And second one is called
Proactive.
super. Second one is called proactive. So whatever the observability we are like working on, this is for reactive monitoring or proactive monitoring, or both?
Both.
Exactly. Correct. Why both? Because always some of the activities not in our control, right? Like the issues is common, which some of the issues not in our control, which we need to take some action. So for that only this observability tool will help. How those observability tools help? Like we will identify what actually going on a site and we will create some alerts. Do you know what actually alerts are? Alerts, anyone heard about alerts? So
Yep.
these are the basic terminology, right? Like before starting any learning of any of the observability tool, if you identify this terminology, if you are familiar with this alerts, observability, metrics, traces, and this is a small things which play major role to learn any of the observability. That's why I'm just emphasizing, right? Like if we don't know what we are going to do after learning this Splunk, right, it would not help for us. Like if we know how this Splunk will be helpful for us, even in a job market, yeah, there is a lot of demand for Splunk. Even like most of the people, even I am interviewing couple of people, they even don't know about, like they just know the creating the dashboard. And I came to know what people will say, yeah, I know the Splunk, the dashboards have been already created. Which one is good one? Like we need to creating the dashboard. Like if I am creating the dashboard, right, I can understand what actually going on into the in and out of the system. Or else someone have been already created the dashboard. If I am utilizing, I need to understand that one also, like what actually going on. So by learning this Splunk, right, you will be capable enough to creating the dashboard, and you should be capable enough to identify what actually real time use cases are. And like I've shared my curriculum. So what like you are going to, I have divided this curriculum in a 20 days, but it's not specific. We will go like here and there. So introduction to Splunk, I just shared a couple of topics, what Splunk is and what are the like use cases of Splunk and installation and setup. I will start tomorrow this installation and setup and basic searching, right? Introduction to search processing language. So every monitoring tool, like if you say Azure will have KQL and Datadog also one of the monitoring tool. So they have their separate processing language. This is SPL, right? We will understand how to use some queries to fetch the data and performing basic searches. I will show you how to, as I mentioned, right? We'll take one use case and we will search in the Splunk and using time range and field constraint. As I mentioned, we will validate the time trend, like how the issue is available occurring during some time trend. So this we will go through one of the class and search language fundamentals. So we can understand what actually search commands like this Splunk will give and using fields and events and transactions. I will try to show you how we can utilize these fields and events. Like this entirely will divide those fields and events and transactions. So this is one of the class we will go through and transferring the commands so these are the key things, right? Using commands like stats count by product id, stats count by apply number, stats count by like ip. So these exercises we will do, and evaluation also very much important. We can use some functions to evaluate like results, and charts also, how we can build good charts to visualizing purpose. So these charts will be helpful for business to generate the report and reporting and visualization. So creating reports and dashboards using visualization like charts and graphs. We will go through entirely on dashboard creation, and we can use the charts also, right? There are different charts like time series chart, pie chart, and bar chart, and based on the requirement, bar chart will give good results, and graphs also. And advanced search, there are a couple of tables, right? These giants will play big role. I will give one of the example. So right, microservices environment. Anyone knows about microservices? Anyone heard about microservices in this group?
Yep.
Can you just describe what actually microservices are? One line, not in detail.
Multiple resources that have been split into
Exactly.
different.
Exactly, correct. So whenever we are using multiple resources, right, our application will be decoupled, and there are multiple tables and multiple components which like reside on different pillars where we need to join. For example, like one example where we used to have consolidated products, which is having some special promotion associated for that. Those consolidated product, actually those were depend on multiple tables. So the customers were unable to add the product, but some of the customers are able to add their product to site. So we were wondering, like whenever we see the logs, we are not seeing anything. Whenever we are trying to recreate the issue, we were unable to recreate the issue. Then we joined multiple tables and we came to know, oh, these are the consolidated table. They are expecting something which is causing the issue on site, which we have identified through the logs. Logs will play a major role. This Splunk logs, so identify any issues. As I said, right, using regular expressions. Business immediately asks, I said, customers are unable to access the product. They will ask how many customers have been impacted. Chalo, generate the report. How I can generate the report? The logs won't give, right? We then these regular expressions come into picture, and we will write that regular expression, and we will generate the report. Yeah, these many customers are facing this issue, and we can share it to the business. Even though I'll give one of the example. So we used to have some promotional cards where they used to, the promotion cards used to have some sequence number, like 9-digit sequence number. Whenever those like people whoever having that card, right, they used to get some offer. For example, if you place order, you will get with this card, some promotion card, you will get 20% off on your card. So eventually, if I place $100 product onto the side, right, whenever I use that card, I used to get $20 benefit. So what vulnerability has happened, right? Those cards have been compromised. Someone like read all those card numbers, and they are using those card numbers, and they are availing that promotion. That's a security vulnerability. So actually they reached out to us and they asked me to like validate what actually going on. Like all promotion cards are compromised and we are losing so much of revenue. So that is the place this regular expression came into picture. I did the regular expression. I identified sequence of those IDs. Like they are just randomly running the sequence. I said like this is the sequence actually the hacker is using. We need to block those IPs. Immediately they have blocked that IP, and we again we worked on the permanent solution. So this regular expression is a key role, and these searches and these dashboards, right? Everything revolve around this only. Mainly whenever we are like saying about Splunk expert and indexing, Splunk indexing also. Understand the data indexing. So I will give one example. It's a very basic example. So there is a aeroplane like there is uh, business who want to introduce some aeroplanes, and they just given an offer, and they just people purchase all the tickets, and they come to the airplane to sit. So if there is no seating arrangement and there are no proper numbering, and they don't know like how much capacity that aeroplane has been there, then what will happen? Like my aeroplane capacity is 100, but I given 120 tickets to whatever the customers, then what will happen? Immediately I need to cancel my aeroplane, right? Eventually that is the revenue loss. If I know the capacity of my system like 100, and if I am giving the proper numbering, like first number you need to sit here, and if I like a customer also can see, okay, which one is open seats and which one have been already occupied, then which one is better? Like second one is a better thing, right? That is the come to like whatever it have been the indexing. So whatever the data, like some lots of data coming to like nowadays, right? Whenever you see Amazon, Swiggy, and Flipkart, like you see like lot of orders they are getting, but no one are, like all are getting on their own products, right? If I am ordering something and someone is getting that order, then what will happen? Eventually the site will lose the customers, right? So how we maintain all these things? So we need, it should be properly indexed and properly stored and appropriate place. Even whenever we searching, right, this Splunk will index all the data in a proper way. Like whenever I search for query for customer, it should give the customer data only, right? It should not give the product data. If I am searching for how many customers have been registered today in my site, then it is giving the product data. What will happen? It's not a reliable system. So the Splunk will give accurate data. How that Splunk will give this indexing will coming into the picture. And we need to run this indexing, like how, for example, my application is product, I need to run the query for some particular product index only. I should not run for customer index. So whenever I am expecting some product, if I am running for customer index, right, it won't give any results, it will give some error. So we should understand clearly what actually indexing is. And data input also, like the data source are main important for Splunk. Why data source are main important nowadays? The cloud, right? If you see Azure, AWS, and Google, sometimes it will be very hard. Like if I am habituated with the Splunk and validating all the logs in this cloud environment, right? It is a bit difficult. So what we will do, we will forward those logs to Splunk again, and we will validate whatever. So like even in my experience also, like I used to use this Splunk for 7 years, and later Google Cloud came into picture, and I used to monitor in a Star driver. I was very blank. I don't know where to validate, and I need to learn everything on the Star driver. Then the Splunk has good feature. They said, yeah, we can forward this log to Splunk. You don't need to worry. So I forwarded this, like we integrated this GCP to Splunk, and whatever the logs we are seeing in GCP, right? It forwarded to Splunk. Yeah. Anyway, I am habituated with the Splunk, right? I used to create proper indexing and proper dashboard, proper alerts. Eventually, Splunk will cost very less compared to this cloud, even with respect to this one also, cost also, and user authentication. And as an admin part, like if I am opening, like if I am going for enterprise application, right? The Splunk will cost based on the users also. So I need to identify like who are the actual users. Like my company contains 100 users, and if I given all permission to all 100 users, right? My billing would be very more like. So how I can avoid that one? Only 10 members I can provide the access to Splunk who can validate everything. So this user authentication will come into picture, and Splunk deployment. As I mentioned, right, the we can integrate this Splunk with multiple data sources, Azure and AWS and all those stuff. So Splunk apps and add-ons, you will learn more about that. And monitoring and troubleshooting. We'll take some use cases. As I mentioned, multiple use cases I have. Even I'll share some real-time use cases also where I experienced like related to product and related to search and related to like healthcare domain, related to banking domain. So we will validate those monitoring, and we'll troubleshoot how to validate the logs and monitoring Splunk performance also. So Splunk only we are using for performance monitoring. Then why we need to concentrate on this monitoring Splunk performance? Can anyone tell? I
Make
am
sure it's
using
working.
Splunk for monitoring purpose only, right? Why I need to bother about again Splunk performance?
If load is too high and the data flow is too much, then we have to check the performance of the application also.
Exactly. Like when like if I am putting everything into Splunk, whoever there in there people are creating dashboard, irrespective dashboard. If I want something, I'm creating dashboard. I am for learning purpose, for enterprising, I'm creating dashboard, I'm creating alert, I'm just making open. So the Splunk cost more. What happened, right? Whenever we search, if it is a load more, Splunk won't give, it will put it in queue. You will get some message, yeah, Splunk is in queue. This issue has happened to me, like so many dashboards have been created by so many people. Nothing have been like monitored about the Splunk. On fine day, on holiday season, business was asking the report. Anyway, eventually data was more. When we search for the report, right, it put it in queue. So business keep on asking, hey, like Abdul, I given you that Splunk, right? Why you are taking this much of time? I can't say, right? My Splunk is in queued. Then immediately we identified the dashboard which are not in use, and immediately we removed them, and we put only active dashboard, active alerts, and we divided actionable and non-actionable alerts, and we made that Splunk very lightweight. And troubleshooting common issues, as I mentioned, right? Some of the issues we can check. This security perspective also, as I mentioned, I have given one of the promotional experience, right? So the Splunk will helpful to validate how many IPs. Like sometimes we can see thousands of requests from only one IP. Like whenever we say, right, yeah, like these many requests are coming, immediately we can give that IP to security team. They will put that IP in a monitoring phase, and later they will block, and we can avoid the issue with that IP. One good example I would like to share here. Reselling activity. Anyone knows about the reselling activity? So, like some of the customers, right? Some of the sites, not customers, like they will provide a reselling activity, right? They will give some, not reselling, sorry. So, like some of the websites, let's say e-commerce website, to attract the customer, they will give some big offers on their site. Let's say 25% offer. They will provide couple of products. What these reseller people will do, right? They'll run the script. They will avail that 25% offer, and they'll place the order. They'll follow all the steps. So whenever we are monitoring, right, if we see order spike, like we will be happy. Oh my God, my site is giving good orders. But those orders coming from only one user, then what will happen? There is no use, right? Why we will give, like why business will give the promotion to attract the customer? But entire promotion is a turnaround on the only one user, right? What happened then? Like it's eventually very big loss to the company. So these type of issues we can identify using Splunk or any of the observability tool. We will check what actually going on. Okay, like when I see order spike, oh my God, now only 100. I could see 10,000 orders have been placed. I need to immediately validate whether these orders have been placed by one IP, or any pattern is going on, or these are even legit users. Sometimes there should be some like push notification will go to like a lot many customers. The customer will place order within like 1 hour or 5 minutes or 15 minutes. That time also the real customer will place an order. At the same time, there will be some reseller activity also, like who will place that orders to avail those promotions. So those kind of issues we will identify, and we will inform to security team, and they will block those IPs. And I will try to like prepare some mini project after completion of this course, so that whatever I covered here, right, we will validate. So what I am trying to do, like there is a Splunk. We'll go with one project, and we will try to create dashboard first to monitoring purpose. We'll put some request and errors and 4xx errors, 5xx errors. We'll take that one project and we'll complete it, and we'll try to create alerts also, like we'll send a notification based on those dashboards, and they based on some indexes. So that is second activity. I will try to provide more and more interactive what projects. It's not directly projects, because Splunk is not independent tool where we can do everything. Splunk will associated with other tools. So whatever we can do here, right, I will try to do. And my sessions will be most of an interactive way. And will we I will share this anyway. You people got this curriculum, right? Day wise we'll review, and whatever the topic we are going to discuss, right, you need to just go through what actually that is, and will interactive way will complete the topic. And the dedication is very much important to complete this course. Even though it's a 20 days, right, it's a vast application Splunk, and it is a very beneficial to the customers. And wherever you go, like whatever your role, so if you have some idea on a Splunk, right, if the industry which is already using Splunk, that will be, then it will be very beneficial for you to explore the things, and you will be having good confidence on like generating the report. So all those things you will learn from here. Okay guys, thank you so much for your time. Yeah, I am done. If you have any questions, the I am open for question and answer forum. This is first day. I randomly completed covered the basic concepts why we need to use Splunk, and what are the real-time applications. Anyway, it's new. Like whenever we are adopting a new technology, right? The times would be very hard to digest. Like slowly by practicing, we will get to know what actual these things. I am saying indexing, I am saying events, I am saying observability, I am saying reliability. So these new terms, just try to search in site and understand what actually observability is, what actually reliability is, what is the benefits of Splunk, and dedicate yourself these 20 days and practice. Once you learn this Splunk, right? And nowadays, like machine learning contains Splunk, and big enterprises, they are using Splunk everywhere. Like even some security departments also, cyber security departments also, they are using Splunk to identify what actually going on based on logs. It's a good tool to learn, and it's a good opportunity. And even I'm spending 1 hour with my busy schedule, so it's a passion. Based on passion, I'm giving this teaching. So it's open for you. Yeah. If anyone have any questions, the forum is open now.
Are we going to learn about CIM, the CIM? I don't.
I didn't get the IAM you are asking, like identity
No,
and
the
access
CIM,
management.
CIM, the SIM model of Splunk.
Okay.
Yeah.
SIM, SIM.
SIM. Okay. Security. Yeah, as I mentioned, right, this is a concept, security side. There we will learn more on that part. We will dig deeper on that case. And as I said, right, I have given couple of security related issues, like to block the IPs, and this is just a basic one. We will dig deeper the use cases also.
Thank you.
Anyone having any questions, feel free to ask here. Small question also okay. I'll try to answer. You no need to worry. And if I'm unable to answer, right, I'll share tomorrow. I'll capture that, and I'll share it tomorrow. If all are good, I think we are good to close then. Yeah.
Yeah.
Will I think tomorrow
Okay.
also we'll have same time this session, and we'll discuss more on the topic.
Yeah, up to Ramesh, yeah. Is this course enough to get a Splunk admin and developer? So
Yeah,
we need to learn
almost
more.
I will cover admin and developer both the roles.
Okay. So I can apply for this Splunk.
You can. I will guide you interview questions also. You no need to worry on that part. What type of interview questions will come on Splunk? I will guide you that part. We'll have one particular session on the interview questions at least.
We need more good knowledge in the Unix network domain. Related.
Network monitoring we will validate here, but not actual networking. You can learn with this Splunk. The network monitoring, right? You can monitor the network logs and all those stuff, but not exactly networking. Yeah, that also we can check.
This Linux, like is basic is enough, right?
Yeah, basic is enough. For this, Linux basic is enough. So it's independent of Linux or any cloud tool. And the Splunk will helpful for both on-prem and cloud environment, right? Whenever you hosted, you have been integrated with this on-prem, then you should know some basic commands of Unix. But for Splunk learning, there is no such kind of Unix we will use here. So it's a SAS product, right? We just monitor the logs, and we'll create the dashboard, we'll create the alert, and everything comes under that. Okay, guys. Like if we are okay, then you are good to drop off, and we'll resume tomorrow again, same time.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you
you.
so much for your time. Yeah, bye.